So Kenya Moore and Aunt Lori, aka Aunt Platinum Blonde, aka Aunt Muncha Pop, out looking for plants and shit. Cause Kenya Moore's trying to start a garden. Lord knows she needs something to do, something to calm her ass down, something to make her more serene. So, they already start talking. The aunt was like, how's the girls? Kenya was like, Cynthia's cool, whatever. Me and Cynthia real cool. She's just a real genuine, sweet person. And yeah, okay, whatever. And they start talking about Portia. And the aunt, be trying to tell Kenya right, but she knows that Kenya's crazy. And so Aunt was just like, look, you need to squash this beef with Portia. And, she needs to apologize. You need to apologize and all that. And King was like, I can't. Like, what do you mean? Like, she owes me an apology. I'm the victim. I was hurt. That wasn't me that waved that, you know, wand all in her face. That wasn't me. That wasn't me that had the bullhorn. That wasn't me. That wasn't Kenya Moore. Um that was Carrie Moore or some shit. Like that wasn't me. And Kenya was like, look, I don't dislike Portia. I don't dislike snakes. I just know that they bite. That was kind of nasty, Kenya. I kind of like that. Um, Miss Smallhore, she started talking about her good friend Claudia, and how Claudia and her have been friends for 10 years, and Claudia even feels like that she's been attacked or whatever. Of course, she's gonna feel like that. She's your friend. Like, who else side is she gonna be on except yours, Kenya? Like, honestly. Um, but if she was a real bitch, she would read your ass for your wrongdoing, whether she's your friend or not. But I don't know how to feel about Miss Claudia. I know she's slightly stuck up. I do know that. She's a cute girl. She's like a bird, but she's a cute girl. She has a cute little nose too. Um, so moving on from that scene, Candace is talking to Portia. Portia is so freaking cute. Oh my god. And that body, sick. I felt like the titties was unnecessary, the new tits on the sling, but okay. So Candace and Portia is talking, and Candace starts spilling all the tea about Cynthia's party. It was just like, yeah, Kenya was there and all that, but I talked to Cynthia as to why she didn't invite you, and Portia was like, yeah, I'm not surprised or whatever. Candy was like, because y'all had some kind of issues and you said something about her that she didn't appreciate, yada yada. Punch was just like, I ain't saying nothing about Cynthia, but I do know that she's a flip flopper. So, I mean, it is what it is. Phaedra shows up. Phaedra in her confessionals looks amazing. This is the best Phaedra has ever looked since she been on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Not that she's ever looked terrible, really, but she is snatched. Her hair and makeup game is on point. She's lost some weight too. Like, good job, Phaedra. Good job, Glam Squad. Candy basically tells Phaedra that look, Apollo lied about everything. He didn't see Kenya in LA. She never offered to give him head. The whole thing was just a lie. Everything he said about Kenya was a lie, 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 lies, lies, lies. Take my Braxton. Phaedra was just like, what? Like, she was just like, I'm already stressed out, going through this divorce thing. You know, I'm trying to keep this damn weight off. I got two children. It's just a lot that's going on. And you mean to tell me that he's damn, lied about Kenya Moore? So maybe she just is Kenya Moore. Damn. She was like, well, bless her heart and shoot her. Child, it's just a mess. Cynthia and Peter. Peter has on this gay shirt. And I don't know what it is. I know that Peter is the devil, but it really is something about Peter that I like. It is. But anyway, Cynthia looked cute and she's cooking the meal for Peter. She put it in the microwave. And they talking, and she's just frantic and throwing shade back and forth, and was like, look, I'm just not feeling Portia. Portia says, I'm, a flip flopper. I'm a kiss ass or whatever. You know, Kenya's feelings about Portia, made me think the same way about Portia. Cynthia was like, no, she make her own decisions, and the way that she feel about Portia is because of Portia and how Portia came off to her or whatever, and just her perception of Portia. It was just like Cynthia was getting upset and just like getting emotional. It was like, girl, sit your ass down. You ain't gonna bust a grape. Portia drag bitches to the flow on a daily, honey. So I don't think you want none of Portia, as Lenithia would say. Candy got all her damn sex toys laid out on the bed. All the shit that her and Todd use on each other. He comes out the bathroom with a towel on. It was just, the inappropriate scene. I was just like, oh, poor Riley. They start talking about cheering. Todd was like, look, I'm not going to be there like you want me to be there. I'm going to be busy. I'm booked to capacity. And that's just it. Like, you just going to have to deal or whatever. Find you another daddy or some shit. Because I ain't going to be able to do it. I ain't going to do it. Ken was just like, what? What you mean? I'm ovulating now. I'm ovulating now. We have to have these kids now, Todd. Like, what is really going on, Todd? Like, no. I was just like, look, you can do what you want to do, but I don't want you to get big. That's the real tea as to why he don't want her to have no kids. Because, he's little and small and short. And, if Candace had this child, she's already thick and juicy. She gonna go out of thick, and she's just gonna be juicy. That's gonna be tragic. It's gonna be enormous and juicy. And yes, but he was just like, look, I'm getting ready to be booked, and so I'm not gonna be around, so we need to wait on the kids. So I don't know. Y'all tell me your thoughts on that as to why he really don't want to have kids. But I've already made my opinion as to why I think he don't want to have kids. As of yet. But Candace is 38 years old. She was like, I don't want to be having no kids while I'm 40. Mariah Carey did it, but everybody's not Mariah. Give me your love. So Kenya and Claudia have this little scene. We meet. They have the introduction of Claudia. She was on Celebrity Apprentice. She was on The Price is Right. Former Miss USA. She's also been on Tiny Tonight. That's more recent. That little hood show that Tiny had. Tiny Tamika Harris. Tia, come knock me up. Yeah. And so she was just like, look, this is who the hell I am. And that's just it. She's black and Italian. She was like, she had struggles growing up and all this and that. And yeah, she was just like, I'm beautiful and you bitches will take, I guess, Claudia, whatever. Going furniture shopping, bitch didn't buy a damn thing. Nene and Portia have their little scene. It's just so much shade going on in that little, building with them. It's craziness. So Portia starts to tell Nene about all that's been going on. Nene was like, I've been booked, honey. I've been busy in Las Vegas and I ain't had time for this Atlanta shit. And shut up, nose. Portia's spilling all the tea. Apollo apologized for everything that he was lying about everything. Nene was like, well, I never called Kenya a hoe because I'm not in her vagina. Because I don't know her like that. But why did you carry this on? Why did you carry this lie on for 2 years? For a storyline, Nene. Why do anybody do shit on reality television? Why the fuck did Mimi Faust on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta? Why did she do the sex tape? For a storyline. You gotta do what you gotta do to keep getting these checks, honey. You have to just keep exploiting. You have to keep exporting yourself. Can't even get it out because it just tastes disgusting in my mouth. Like, gosh. You just have to do your thing and that's just it, ma. What else happened? Nene said she would never be friends with Cynthia again. um, Portia said was saying something that she saw Cynthia somewhere. I think it was at the airport, and she looked like a thought, and she had to explain to Lanithia what a thought meant. Um, was that all that happened in the scene? Nene was just being Nene, telling Apollo just go ahead and go to jail, and you're not needed here and shit. And, yeah, I really don't know why anybody would befriend somebody like Nene. I really don't. I don't think she's a horrible person, but like Lisa Wu said, oh, and Watch What Happens Live with Andy, and Candy was there too. She was like, money and fame just magnifies who you really are on the inside, and that is so true. So, with all that said, y'all know what she mean, especially when it comes to Nene, because they was talking about Nene. Um, but she is funny though. Lanithia is hilarious, and you can't deny what she's done, with her coming from a reality show. She's definitely took it to a whole nother level, and her paycheck shows it, and she'll let you know that in a minute. Phaedra and the kids in the pool, they talk, and the kids, playing and all that. They cut to a scene with Apollo talking to the divorce attorney, Randy Kelser, who is everybody's damn divorce attorney. It seemed like in Atlanta. It's crazy. Now we done seen him at least 4 seasons. Just a mess. Nene done talked to his ass. Todd talked to his ass. Now Apollo talking to his ass. It's just moments. Phaedra was like, I don't want to take my kids up there to see him in prison and all that. How do y'all feel about that? About if the father of your kids went to jail or prison, unfortunately, would you take them to go see him in jail? I don't know. They're still his kids at the end of the day. But maybe she says she don't want to traumatize them or be normal. She wants them to be as normal as possible. But at the same time, you can't hide everything from your kids. It's 8-year-olds running out here talking about my anaconda don't. What you mean? You better be talking about the snake. You better not be talking about that damn Nicki Minaj video. I knocked the taste out your mouth. Are you serious? No, ma'am. Sunset. It's just craziness. Moving on from that scene, Todd's daughter comes into town. They're staying with Candy or whatever for a while. Riley is used to being the only child, used to getting her way and all that. They start to talk to the kids about chores, and Riley was like, "I'm not," and in so many words, she was just like, "I'm not doing no chores." And it was just like, okay, what about allowance? If you do the chores, you'll get, some money. And Todd was like, how about $10 if you do the chores or whatever? And Riley was like, how about 100? Todd was like, well, what if I, buy y'all bikes? Riley was like, what about a car? Just everything Todd was saying, Riley was just, upping it. Everything. But, she's the only child. She's spoiled. Candy got, tons and tons of money. So, hey, what do you expect? Todd daughter's a little bit more grounded, a little bit more humble, more so live like the rest of us live. And so they started to get on curfews, and Todd, and they asked Todd's daughter, was like, so how do you feel about, so what was an appropriate time when you came into the house? She was just like, maybe 1 or 2 or whatever. I'm 18. She just graduated high school. And Riley was like, really? In the morning? She was just like, there's nothing down here really for you to do at that late in the morning, especially over in the morning. But, but then again, I would be in college. It's like, damn, don't do that, little girl. Cynthia and Portia have a moment. They have a scene which was funny. It was absolutely hilarious. Um, so Portia was Cynthia walked in. Cynthia's cute, by the way. Cynthia always looks good. So they showed the clock, and the clock, you know, every 2 seconds it was going, 15 minutes after that. So it started off as like damn 1:15, then it went to 1:30, then it went to 1:45, and then 2 o'clock. It was just like, okay, where the hell is Portia? Portia finally comes in. Cynthia was like, she comes in with this cheap jumpsuit on, and I've been waiting an hour late. Portia walks up. She was like, oh, hi, Cynthia. What's going on? Cynthia was like, I don't know, bitch. You an hour late. Portia was like, well, thanks for waiting for me. Cynthia was like, well, that's to be determined. So they start talking. It pretty much goes downhill because Cynthia keeps cutting her off and being a bitch. Somehow, something happened with Portia where they was talking, and or she said something on a blog or something about that she don't like gay people or something. Cynthia had made her comment about that and read her. Cynthia was like, if you keep coming for me, I'm gonna keep coming for you. And you know, she was trying to say, don't send for me unless I send for you. That whole Kenya Moore saying, don't come for me unless I send for you. That's what she said. But Portia was just kind of sniggering and laughing at it the whole time. She was like, who is this new bitch? Who is this new Cynthia? It's just like crazy. Pretty much, Cynthia gets up and walks out, and Portia was like, "Yeah, and you just look like an old mean lady. Like, what is your issue? What is your deal?" I don't know who this. I just think that Cynthia is getting sick of being typecast as the ass kisser, being typecast as Nini's little minion. She's sick of being Cinderella. When is she gonna get her shot with the prince? That's all. That's really what I think it is. I don't have an issue with her standing up for herself and doing shit, but I do think that she is a flip flopper. I 100% agree with Lanithia Leaks on that. She is very much so one side of the fence and this and that and the other. Versus Candy, Candy is one of those people who's very like in the middle. She's very much so cool with everybody, but she very much so has always spoke her mind. And if she has a firm opinion on something, she has a firm opinion on it, whether you're her friend or not. And that's why people, oftentimes take to Candy more so than a lot of the other ladies on the show. And so it was a pretty good episode, y'all. Y'all tell me y'all thoughts on this episode. I think I got everything. Hopefully I did. And with that said, I'm Mr. Chalake. I'm Mr. Chalake on Google Plus. Follow me. I am at It's Kingsworld on Twitter. And I am Chase Gamers here on Facebook. If this is your first time watching, hey, yes, God. Shouts out to the new subscribers. Hopefully you subscribe if you're, not already subscribed to him. And who is him? He, me, him. Shouts out to all the housewives across the land. Yeah. So what are you guys thinking about the housewives so far and the ladies and the relationships and the drama? It's definitely deep and very dangerous. Well, that's it, y'all. I guess. At It's King's World on Twitter. Y'all know what to do. Yes. Moments. I don't know.